with the Zeri-Leona combo, as now we're going to see the mid laner, or rather the jungler, for the side of T1 looking like a Nidalee for now, and there it is.
Set up with the Leona, with the Skarner to at least have some spears. I think it's an amazing Nidalee draft, but I don't think it is the worst either. And again, T1 does love playing aggressive, and Nidalee slots into that game plan as
well. Let's see how this first match is going to go on game number 1, T1 versus KT Rolster, as we hop onto the ring.
Makes sense that KT didn't want to heavily prioritize it in terms of bans. I think that if you look at what T1 have, you know, Azir with Nidalee isn't really the combo that you're going to be as scared of as you are with. I actually want to give credit here to Deft and Beryl, because this is huge. They were actually able to do a really good job of mitigating the weak early level of Alistar.
But Pioshik also here, trying to make a play here for the Scuttle Crab. Well, the spear is going to land, and now a chance to smite it. Yeah, Owner's going to get that smite down, as the knockback also going to miss, as they do engage on a carrier, but that is a Leona.
Beryl!
The flash over the wall as Beryl makes the play, and first blood goes to KT. Faker isolated and will go down. It's 2 kills to KT early on in this game. KT were all in together on that play. Speaking of which, we got a nice little pulverize on it too. If he lands the stun, yeah, that's the barrier utilized from Guma. He knows he's under a bit of pressure here, especially with BDD down in the bottom lane. There's no flash for Keria, but he will just walk away from that one, utilizing very well the walk strategy just to survive.
Do I get one or the other? I also want to highlight that they do get the crash, so Deft will be missing a bunch of minions here. I'm not 100% sure if this was on the cannon wave. Did have to back eventually, so that back timing is a little bit rough. It's also, I think, the reason why we see that Guma is sitting on more XP, even in a 1v2 scenario. Do want to highlight, like, we're talking a lot about KT, because I think KT already this early look way better than what we've seen of them thus far in summer. He maintained his pressure, and a 4-man dive will be a great example.
This is a lot of pressure, yeah, I like the word you use, as they're trying to turn on the Deft though. He's so low and he will be taken out, as no stun goes on a Guma, and BDD can't even get the kill. Flash rock, no, he misses. And Keria, well, he's probably gonna go down here, but they don't get Guma, and a 1-for-1 trade in a 4-man dive is not what you want to see. Guma also picking up a kill.
Oh, really big there. As, the setup.
Yeah, trying to make this play onto the Cassante. He does all out the Skarner under the turret, and now Zeus has to flash away. Going back in onto the all-out Cassante. Not sure about that one. Impale on a both. Do they have the damage? So perfect. Goes in, assassinates the Nidalee, and now he's totally fine. Zeus with 0 mana. And eventually he's just gonna die. I mean, there's nothing he can do here with no mana, no health. BDD picks up the 2nd kill. At this moment in time, KT, they've risen to the challenge. You know, today's the big day. They've had a really rough couple of weeks, 3.5 weeks, you could say, or I guess 2.5 weeks at this point, and just trying to get their first big win here against T1.
In this very arena, which I also love that they also include the baby team, you know?
Bruh.
Perfect. I thought that maybe the pressure of playing in this arena would get him. So far, he's looking great.
Yeah, no, he's looking almost better than he normally looks. So I don't know what I said to them before the match, but everybody's...
Maybe he's got that dog in him, you know? It's like, oh, this crowd? Well, Zeus didn't even have to flash, right? Didn't end up going down. BDD investing a lot of time. They got the Herald. So they might be able to get the mid lane here, which obviously is going to be good as Deft.
He's going to Arcane Shift in, and now here comes Skarner out of the shadows from below. And that was really scary.
Is the ability to find uncannily good team fights from a deficit. This deficit isn't even that big, and it's exactly these type of positions. But you do see KT, they actually read this pretty well, right? They're very aware that T1's going to be looking to collapse, and Beryl, he's Deft's bouncer. There's a lot of pressure on Perfect, but they do know this is happening.
Yeah, they really want to turn this around. Do KT, the all-out goes in on Owner. They're going very deep for this one. Perfect getting very hypey with it, and now Beryl in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to go to the Unbreakable Will as they overcommit to that one. Not expecting as many members of T1 to be there, but the entire team.
TP is down for BDD as well. Obviously can rotate very quickly, but I like this.
Whoa, the play on a Faker is huge. Will he die though? He just flashes and he dashes away. He's totally fine. Meanwhile, Keria and Guma, I think we're doing some damage to Beryl there, but he is Alistar with a Celestial opposition, so he doesn't take much damage. But yeah, Faker does have to flash away from that one, trading with Pyoshik.
Do you think that's still a win for KT? Looking for these practice plays, definitely a good call as Carrier?
Yeah, he's going in. I mean, he can't get out at this point, so just trying to open it up for Guma, but down will go Carrier, and now Guma's got to run away. So that's a pick onto the support here of T1, especially because it's still very early on in the game.
Oh, the poke, the spears, the rocks.
Well, that's a solar flare. They're going to get the flash here at a barrel. And now the True Shot Barrage is also going to sail wide. So a lot of poke coming in. Onto barrel, onto perfect. Even BDD taking a big chunk. But now the damage onto this dragon getting pretty low. They do want to get this Hextech Soul before the fight. But perfect goes low. There's the Hextech Soul. As Beryl doesn't have his ult, and now the flash on in, and down will go Deft, who had flash available, just gets assassinated, and Beryl will go down too.
And T1 picking themselves up the Baron, and yeah, no, he's still not getting there. Realistically, the moment that he just sticks around, there's no way. Zeus doesn't care about walls, and if he doesn't get Deft, they don't get Nash. Like, obviously, KT is low, but I don't think that there's a way for them to hard force a fight and to not run the risk. There's a lot more threat on KT. Deft is their biggest damage dealer, as we saw earlier, together with BDD, so him being gone is a big loss. Interruptibility, it's nice, but there isn't really a way to follow up, at least for now, so they might be able to use that to get at least a bit of a mid-shove.
Yeah, the timing of this is pretty good. I mean, 30 seconds until the Drake even spawns as, uh-oh, he's going to get knocked by the wall. That's the teleport down. And Zeus is like, well, I guess I'm dead.
He is.
Let's see how long this does take. I mean, if it takes 30 seconds, maybe T1 just go for the Elder, though.
He is Scar. Oh, look at that. KT are realizing, like, we don't have the time for this. Well, I think they do. I think they could have killed him.
Well, they're just going to let him go. Now, they did get the teleport out of Zeus, so now Zeus doesn't have teleport, has to run towards this. And they're going to teleport BDD into the fight early. And that's a problem.
That's the worst target out of everyone for them.
Yeah, it's perfect for Owner to hit that onto him, as now it's just going to come down to a straight-up Elder Flip. Macro out the window.
Keep him out.
This is just what they're going for. Look at Perfect's health bar. They're just going to impale Deft in again as he doesn't use flash again. And Pyoshik is not going to be able to get it. This game is over. Everybody on the side of KT just going to be isolated and ripped apart. As T1, they get the Elder, they get the fight, they will get game number 1.
It is not Challengers, baby, it's just LCK. As KT, they get close, but that fight, basically everything went wrong. Deft eats a spear, gets impaled, Pyoshik doesn't get the flip, Perfect goes down before the fight has well and truly began. It is going to be T1 going up for a much better showing, but game 1 still going as expected. As we look at the damage numbers here, I think T1, Carrier, probably the roughest individual game. Outside of that, I thought Zeus was, you know, going to just randomly die in the sideline, which he's been doing a fair amount of, but actually, I don't think
Aphelios
is good.
Jinx, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking of Aphelios, actually, but Jinx, with this type of setup, not the amount of peel that you'd like to have. I think ideally with a Jinx composition, right? Jinx Kench, Jinx Fresh is normally what we see. It's kind of the opposite approach where Vi and Taliyah are going to try and get a kill for you, and then you just pop off. And the amount of damage that the KT comp have is absolutely insane. A lot of team fighting power there as well with the Leona and the Rumble.
In terms of their damage capability in those team fights as the game comes along. But guys, we are ready. Let's hop into the Rift for game number 2.
Really, I know those two are really easy to grow. Basil is basically a weed when it comes to trying to not have it completely overtake your garden.
Yeah.
So that's a bit
It grows so well.
It really does. I don't know if you could do cilantro.
Because they come in like bite-sized, you know? You just kind of pick them up.
You can just cut the thing.
Yeah, but you don't have to cut if they're tater tots. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Perfect. Uh-oh, he's just going to burn down. That is first blood. Going over to Zeus in the Skarner versus Rumble matchup.
Seen this before. Skarner can be deceptively strong if you let him. So the big thing here is Zeus plays really well around his level lead. So hits level 3 is going to be up a skill compared to Perfect, and then Perfect just KT pick up the first cut and should be able to just get all 3 grubs here with the protection given. It's a nice win for them.
Yeah, feels very good. We've seen BDD trying to hit seismic shoves against Faker, and it's just not happening. I don't know. He's not able to hit it. Faker's dodging a lot of them. Yeah, it's a pretty balanced matchup. But at the end of all things, kind of funny we land on Azir versus Taliyah once again. Kind of makes sense for this matchup, Faker versus BDD. As Pyosik is going to find an owner in the jungle. Don't know if he's going to commit to that. As the choppers come down, that's that combo you were talking about. Guma's level 6 though, and pops a Zeri ult. So that's going to be a 1 trade actually for the T1 bot lane, even though the engage came from KT's. Hide on push.
Might have to, as they are coming in.
Do they not see them? I mean, this is going to be really big. They get the kill on Aguma for sure. And they're going to hand it over to Deft as well. So the Jinx already starting off excellently here.
Yeah, I like this read. Because they know Deft really wants the back, because I'm sure he's sitting on a ton of gold.
Yeah.
And then with the Faker TP, they're basically saying, we're going to trick the dragon now.
Faker just going on in, wants to take a 1v1. He has Owner coming over as well. BDD in a bit of trouble, does flash, still dies. His Owner takes him down. And the 2v1 is set up there in mid. Nice little play from Faker to get them ahead, and that should be another dragon going to T1.
Oh, wow. Double TPs.
No TP, and Carry is just going to charm everybody up. The Zeri, nice angle, but they do just press the R button on him, and Guma just burning to a crisp as the Drake. We were right, it does go the way of T1, but a big fight potentially. Over to the side of KT is the Impale here. Zeus just trying to peel for the team. Carrier decides, well, I'm dead too. He's going to go down. As Faker just going to flash the wall, trying to survive here. T1 getting the Drake, but it is a huge fight for KT.
Kind of forced towards these dragons. And we'll see. KT, they're going to continuously try and accelerate us. Oh my god!
You think they care? You think they care about the Viego? No, it's just a dead Faker. And they use a lot to get him, but it's a kill, and it's tempo, and it's trying to really utilize every piece of their kit that they have in this composition.
We gotta see what happens. Thus far, the 5v5 we had, that was amazing. They gotta keep that up.
Oh, going for Deft here, and you know what? I mean, there's the Impale just barely out of range. They get a TP though, and a flash, and a cleanse out of Deft.
Create as much chaos as possible, and keep him in this corridor where the Equalizer can do a whole lot.
So Barrel's gonna go in. The TP immediately channeled here as a lot is used to try to get on top of Owner, but he just gets away with his ult, and now it's a 5v5 without Equalizer, without the Solar Flare, as now Faker's coming in. Carrier also gonna proc that ultimate. Zeri over the wall here, but a lot of low health bars on the side of T1, and now getting into that backline is perfect, doing so much damage, and now Faker and Guma have no front line anymore, as everybody just died outside of those two. They have to back away, and KT get the Drake.
We'll see if they're able to pull it off. There's no jungler, but there is a lot of damage, and oh, this is very early.
It is very early, and Guma's going to try to poke them down. Carrier and Faker also coming over the TP as well.
God.
From Zeus, this is getting so spicy. Pyosik, though, is able to get the objective. Should be at least 2 kills to the side of T1 as they take down both Pyosik and Barrel. But Carrier looking for a bit more. BDD.
It doesn't feel like T1 are getting any of the fights that they're looking for. And now we're getting to the point where before I'm like, if Deft dies, you know, I think KT might be in trouble. That's not the case. Like, BDD, Deft, and Perfect all are perfectly capable of just 1v9ing a team fight.
Well, they're trying to go on a Zeus. They're trying to test my theory, and you know what? I think it's going to work, especially with the Taliyah wall. They can pick anyone on the side of T1. And Faker, you know, he's doing his thing over on the left side of the map here. He's trying to trade an inner turret, and he might just be able to. Only 14 seconds left on the Rebel Baron power play, but KT are going to utilize that last little smidgen of it, and they should be able to take this inhibitor. And look for more. Actually, they're going to force the TP out of Faker.
Deft is excited.
They will get it. But now at least Guma is down a flash.
We'll see if that's enough. Didn't use the Equalizer, crucially. That's the cooldown we got to be looking out for. Is perfect.
Yeah, the wall is good. Zeus isolated once again. We're fighting over a singular Chemtech Drake as the Impale this time pretty good, but the follow-up is not there. Finally, Carrier gets in, but look at the damage already as Faker goes in. They take out the Jinx, but now the Rumble is just melting everyone. As he is full health, Guma desperate to try to do something, but it's not gonna matter. You talked about it, Chronic. There's so many threats on this KT roster. From this far ahead, they will absolutely destroy you, and that might just be the end of the game.
And the telecom war delivers, Feldes, as we're about to go to a game number 3. KT got control in the early game in game 1 and then weren't able to close it out. And when Perfect died, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to see, but he bounces back. Pioshik on the Vi has an incredible performance. BDD's walls were great. And we're going to game number 3.
I'm glad that we have KT back at the LCK, because we were missing them for a while. Perfect eats first blood, does double the damage of almost everybody on the side of T1 Gumayusi.
The Nautilus is still up, so my expectation would be that it's probably going to be Ezreal Nautilus as it turns out, Owner going to be playing Zyra here, and it's Braum to finish off the draft. R5 Braum here for Barrel. And maybe use that as a way, and then they can't really engage as much because of the Braum, but it's pretty narrow. Maybe the level 1 invade to flip the game with that Braum. Could be an angle, Veldes.
Let's see how it goes. Let's hop into the rift for game 3. And they did a great job. Faker is, well, he's found the enemy team. There's a Braum there. Barrel absolutely going to flash there.
Trade the level 1!
Faker, and you know what? Over the wall, that's the stun. Faker's dead!
It's the level 1!
And it goes to depth as well! And Gooba,
can he get another?
One auto. Yep, there's the
Gonna
stun.
have to use his cleanse at least.
That's the cleanse, and now he's going to be late to lane. Faker should know about the Braum level 1.
And if you do get on top, Pioshik does have a lot of power. It says a lot about Zyra's clear that even with Pioshik getting a leash and Owner like being slowed down, he's still pretty, like, what, 10 seconds ahead on the clear. The main question is, can we get anything out of it, as Faker did just go in.
Yeah, he's going in. I feel like he's almost trying to make up for what happened earlier, but that's going to put him behind even further as BDD picks up the kill. No flash for Faker, hops in, immediately punished.
Right now, looking at the lane states, top doesn't matter, it's 2 tanks. They're trading grasp stacks. Their TPs are on the same timer. Mid, we do see Faker going in aggressively. BDD, if he had his ult, could have maybe done something there. Not going to be the case. And then Faker probably gone in.
They were denied of any real entry into the river. As there is a Skarner here. Owner is in a lot of trouble. He gets knocked up against the wall. The Impale is going to miss. And so they'll just stop there. So kind of unfortunate for Perfect. The angle was a bit off. Keria is being bullied a little bit, but Owner over here with Faker.
Yeah, at the very least should be able to get flash there. Owner did have flash, so shouldn't, as very close there for that. Negative engage, realistically. If you get somewhere first.
Yeah, Pioshik getting on top of Owner. He's just going to throw his whole kit on the ground. Tries to flash over to Zeus, but now the Impale going to catch him, and Owner goes down. A lot of damage being done by the All Out, but now BDD comes over. He wants more. He wants blood. He wants to take down Cassante, and that he will. Perfect picks up the kill. It's 2 more on the scoreboard to KT.
Early on the play. It's Barrel who was early on the rotation, and you can see this alone is not enough, but this team has struggled so much. He'll be able to make it out still.
4 plates.
They might just take this straight up.
5. A turret before 14.
The Grubs.
Keria's getting in there, and the Grubs, they get it. The first turret and all of the plates before 14 minutes. Keria desperate to try to stop them, but instead he's just going to go down. Guma has to get away from the Impale, and Perfect is very tanky. He's still getting in there as Keria finally will be taken down. The reset comes in, and now the rest of the team is getting baited into this one. Although Zeus is coming in from the top lane, gets the all out on a Pioshik, who is in a bit of trouble. Does get over the wall there, but he is going to go down. It's a double kill over to Guma. And did KT overextend as BDD finally makes his way back? He's looking for a bit more as Guma will get away. Zeus' stun does come down, but that is Cassante, ladies and gentlemen, as he will get away. Baker, meanwhile, was back here.
Doesn't go down until much later. And then, oh no.
Walls aren't real. Not against Skarner. And Owner's in a bit of trouble, but he drops down the ult, and now the follow-up comes in from T1 as Pioshik has to flash away. But here comes Depth. He's doing a lot. Baker trying to pop him out of this fight, actually. But the first kill will go on Aguma. Baker does get the assassination, but Pioshik is Zeri. And now he has gone back into the Viego form as the Impale again is going to miss. And I mean, I don't know how he keeps missing it, but it's okay. He's got some rocks to throw, and he's going to throw it into that front line, into both of them. There's no escape for the two members of T1. They will both be killed by Pyosik. And that is 6 kills now for Pyosik on this Viego.
Side lane. This would be big, but no. And this early on, I don't think the Zeri really has a realistic chance of stealing this. But this is the first relevant Soul. And Ezreal and Azir with Hextech Soul. Who cares if you don't have, you know,
Skarner.
the best? Well, oh god.
Actually pretty quick. It
is.
looks like it's longer than it actually is. You can really get caught off guard by that, actually. I remember when I was first playing against Shane Skarner. As Beryl, he's got a wall. It's not leveled up, but that's okay. The poke is coming in, and they're even going to get a flash out of Keria, who says, well, I don't want to blow my ult here, so I'll just...
Oh, they know. Yeah, they have to flip it on this fight. It's all or nothing. I don't know if they can get to the pit in time. Owner can get there. No!
No, they're just not going to get there on time. It's just a Hextech Soul, just like that, and they want to take the fight after Mateus. He goes in, and you know what? He's trying to get on top of a Sonya's BDD, who is going to live for now. He goes in, he gets the sweep onto 2. As he gets pretty low, they take him down, but Pyosik's still alive.
No resets!
But no resets, and Guma now is shelling them down. How did T1 win this fight? How is this happening? As Perfect now all alone, he's going to be taken down, and T1 should get the Baron.
Oh, that is so much gold into the pockets of T1. For T1, Guma sitting at 3 items. His W's are going to be doing a whole lot of damage. The good thing for KT is that they didn't lose too much of the base, right? They gave up an individual lowers.
Here comes the combo. It's Beryl, and he's Braum, and he is very tanky, and he's actually going to get away. As now True Shot Barrage going to do a bunch of damage to Zeus and Guma, but yeah, a decent amount used to try to get Beryl there, but at the end of the day, he survives.
Ooh, right? No, I'm thinking of a different.
Whoa!
I'm thinking of another Zyra
twice?
that I think I think it was Sponge who got.
Maybe it was T1. I don't know. Faker's gonna get poked out in a big way.
There's the Soul.
Yeah, and you know they still got that. So we're essentially saying, okay, T1, they have come back in a huge way in this game, but KT are still in control. They still have Hextech Soul, and it's gonna come down to positioning and the way this fight is gonna break out.
For KT, I think you want to play slow. Faker TPing to get pressure on the side wave. Join the rest of his team. Doesn't run the risk of getting caught.
Hextech Soul already getting some nice value with those Mystic shots. And KT, you know, they've dragged this Drake over to their side, and they're just allowing T1 to try to tank it up. As Keria looking for an engage, but he's getting extremely low. Has to go into his ult. Now he has to engage, but it comes down to a flip, and it goes to Pyosik. As BDD goes in, immediately the Braum goes down. The supports are out, but the resets are coming in, and the Elder Drake is doing its job. Faker and Guma still alive, though, as now trying to go back in here. Zeus not sure about that, as Pyosik going to be able to take him down. The TP's coming in. KT, they get the Drake. Can they get the game?
Is that going to be it? Zeus going back in there. I don't think he ever gets out. Was so close to killing Pyosik. Pyosik, I think, got the ult on Q3 there. Even with the Elder buff.
Oh, they're going
It was a tough one. Yeah, they have to. There are still 2 great sources of wave floor available. The health bars are low, and if they run the risk of losing...
Yeah, I don't think they can end the game really on this. Let's see. I mean, this top inhibitor should definitely go down, right? Double buff. We get the cool colors going on. We got Exodia here, and T1 can't really fight this yet. The TP's going to come in as well, just 100%.
Oh, I'd love it. KT, just send it. Try to end it.
20 seconds.
The Hextech burn.
20 seconds. They got the burn. They got the Hextech. They're trying to go for these Nexus turrets. But the wave is cleared.
10 seconds.
Kind of. I mean, this Nexus turret is going to go down. And KT looking for the end. And 3 seconds to 1. No Elder buff left, but the damage, it's ticking. And down will go Zeus. Keria extremely low, and finally, he did it impale. He impaled an enemy. He finally did it, and KT, they will finally get a big win here in the LCK as they take down T1 at their own T1 home ground.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason for the POG interview translation. I'm here joined by the POGs on the side of KT Roaster after their Saturday Showdown match up against T1 at T1's home ground event at Goyang Sono Arena. Congratulations on the win, guys. First up, Pyosik. So this is the first time that we ever done an out of the house event for the LCK regular season event. How was it? Yeah, true. As a professional player, you know, I think even though this was not a Worlds match, you know, but still all the fans came out in order to fill up the venue. It was amazing and it was a very special and new experience for me. What about you, Perfect? Yeah, this is my first time actually, you know, performing at a venue big like this. So I thought I would be very nervous, but somehow, after listening to the national anthem and the cheers coming from the KT fans, I was so relaxed and I was not feeling any jitters and I was able to play up to my, you know, full potential. Exactly, I think your performance was very on point. After losing the first game, what kind of feedback went back and forth?
오브젝트 타이밍에 판단을 살짝
I think
실수해가지고
we made some
기울어졌다고
bad decision around
생각을
objectives.
피드백에는 그냥
So we kind of dropped the ball over there. So after that game, we were like, we have to clean that up, but we were able to focus up. And I told Deft, you know, we've become stronger after dropping one game. So we were just joking around, and we managed to come back for game 2. And perfect. Game 2, your Rumble, which is on top of the tier list right now, was able to pop off together with Talia and Vi. How was that draft? I believe Mididis Talia and Pyosik Vi are the world's best, so I was able to play with so much confidence. Well, early on in the game, you were not able to have a priority, but you were able to turn the table around in the end. How was that possible? I don't think it was my, work. I think it was coming from the hard work from my teammates. They were carrying me, so I was not too nervous because I knew my hyungs are there to carry for me, and I was just there to participate in the team fight for them. And Pyosik game 3 started off with a kill in favor of KT Roaster, coming from a very aggressive play from Burrow, utilizing the passive of Brown. We were actually planning for a early game cheese strategy in order to give a hard time for Zarya in the early game. And then Deft came up with that idea. He was like, how do you think? I was like, that's amazing. Like, how were you able to think of that? So we had a huge respect to his, technology for the early game, and we pulled it off and it worked. However, there was a team fight where T1 was able to actually win. Very big. How did KT players react to that play? Same Deft also arcane shifted forward, so we were like, oh wait, are we doomed? And then VDD was like, guys, it's okay, relax and it'll be alright. So we were able to pick ourselves up together and then, perform at our best level. Tell me about the Elder Still as well. How did you guys manage to close out the game? Exactly, the Elder Still was the nail in the coffin. And today, Deft had his 800th LCK game total. Any message over to him?
데프트 선수 800전 축하의 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Anything you want to say over to Deft?
형이 되게 많이 뛴 줄 알았는데
I thought he played more.
많이 안 뛴 것 같아. 일단
800? Well, still congratulations.
흑경 축하해.
Congratulations, Deft, on your 800th LCK game.
혁규 형이 800전을 했다고 하는데
Yeah, he just had his 800th LCK game. I
못하겠지만
don't think he can make it to 1,000 games because of his military duty, but in a couple of years after his service, he might be able to hit 1,000. Lastly, KT Roaster was able to pull off this win under so much pressure. Anything you want to say to the fans? We started off the season very rough, you know, with a losing streak, but I hope with this momentum we can start off a big win streak. Thank you so much for your support.
표식 선수도 한 말씀
And Pyosik.
부탁드리겠습니다.
저희가 브리온전 이기고 팬미팅을 했는데
After the
많은
fan
분들이
meet,
여기 와서 응원해
right after the
주신다고
Bro
하길래
series, I realized so many KT fans will actually come to the Goyang Arena to support us, but we were actually sitting on a 1-4 scoreline, so I was feeling so sorry for them. I was looking for a bounce back by taking down T1 today, and I think it's a miracle that we pulled it off, but I think it's all thanks to the support coming from the KT roster fans. Thank you so much. And this will be the end of the interview from Pyosik Perfect, and back to the space. Thank you.